In the verdant, rolling hills of rural Virginia, John Avery has made a home that's a stark contrast to his past life. Retired from a distinguished career as a Delta Force commander, John now embraces the quiet, steadfast work of farming. His days are filled with the rhythms of nature, rather than the chaos of military operations. John's farm is a sprawling landscape of fields and orchards, where he grows apples, peaches, and an assortment of vegetables that he sells at the local farmer's market. This new chapter of his life is defined by early mornings, the satisfaction of hard work, and the peace of rural solitude. Despite his imposing frame, a holdover from his days of rigorous military training, John carries a gentle demeanor that endears him to his neighbors and fellow farmers. He's known in the community not only for the quality of his produce, but also for his willingness to lend a helping hand whenever needed. His transition from military life to farming was motivated by a desire for peace and simplicity, a stark departure from the high-stress world of tactical missions and covert operations. Now, in his late 50s, John has fully embraced his role as a farmer, finding joy in the growth of his crops and the change of the seasons. Every Saturday, you can find him at the local market, his stall brimming with fresh fruits and vegetables, displaying the fruits of his labor and sharing his love for farming with anyone who stops by. Little do most people know, beneath this serene exterior lies one of the most skilled and deadly Delta Force commanders in history. John Avery's journey to becoming a farmer is underpinned by a storied past in the military, where he served as a Delta Force commander. His career was marked by numerous covert operations and tactical missions across various global hotspots, where he earned a reputation for his strategic acumen and unmatched combat skills. John's service was characterized by bravery and a deep commitment to his country, earning him numerous commendations and the respect of his peers. In the military, John was known for his physical prowess and mental toughness, traits that enabled him to handle some of the most challenging and high-stakes situations imaginable. He led his team through countless dangerous assignments, always placing the mission and the safety of his men above his own. His leadership in the field was not just about direct combat. It involved making critical decisions that often meant the difference between life and death. Despite the harshness of his military life, John was always driven by a deep sense of duty and a desire to make a positive impact in the world. These values stayed with him even after he retired from active service. Seeking a change from the intense demands of military life, he chose farming as a way to continue nurturing life, but this time through the soil. Farming offered him a way to use his discipline and dedication in a more peaceful context, allowing him to focus on growth and renewal rather than conflict. Transitioning to civilian life, especially in such a tranquil setting, was not without its challenges. John had to adapt his skills from commanding elite troops to tending crops and managing farm operations. However, the qualities that made him an exceptional commander, patience, perseverance, and meticulous planning, proved to be equally valuable in his new role as a farmer. As John settled into his life in rural Virginia, he found that while the battlefield had changed, the satisfaction of hard work and the importance of community remained constant. His past life as a Delta Force commander remained a closely guarded secret, known only to a few trusted friends and former military contacts. In the market and on his farm, he was simply John Avery, the farmer, unless circumstances dictated otherwise. In his new life as a farmer, John Avery presents a figure that's markedly different from his days as a Delta Force commander. With a broad, sturdy frame that once suited the demands of military operations, John now carries a bit more weight, a testament to his more relaxed lifestyle since retiring from active service. His hands, once used to handling weapons, are now more often found digging into the earth or pruning the branches of his orchard. John's appearance at the local farmer's market is that of a typical rural farmer: flannel shirts, often plaid, worn over simple t-shirts, sturdy jeans, and well-worn boots. His face, framed by a thick, neatly trimmed beard and topped with a weather hat, is always ready with a warm, welcoming smile. Those who meet him see a gentle giant, approachable and friendly, always ready to share a story or a laugh. At his farm, John's lifestyle is a blend of simplicity and discipline. He rises with the sun, a habit from his military days, to tend to his animals and crops. Breakfast is hearty, often featuring eggs from his own chickens, before he heads out to the fields. His home is modest but comfortable, filled with mementos of his past life, including military commendations and photos, discreetly displayed in his private study. Despite his imposing physical presence, John moves with surprising grace, a leftover from his extensive combat training. He handles farm equipment with ease, and his movements around the animals and plants show a tender, caring side that few would expect from a former Special Forces commander. In the community, John is known for his reliability and kindness. He is the first to offer help to a neighbor in need, whether it's fixing a broken fence or helping to herd escaped livestock. His transition from military hero to community pillar has been smooth, largely due to his genuine love for his new life and the people he shares it with. John's daily routine is a far cry from the high-octane rush of Delta Force missions. Instead, his challenges now revolve around weather patterns, crop rotations, and market sales, struggles he embraces with the same vigor and dedication he once applied to his military duties. Every Saturday, John Avery sets up his stall at the bustling Willow Creek Farmers Market, a local gathering that brings together the community with fresh produce, handmade goods, and lively chatter. The market is a colorful mosaic of tents and tables, each vendor displaying the fruits of their labor from the surrounding countryside. John's stall is particularly popular, known for its variety of crisp apples, juicy peaches, and a selection of vegetables that change with the seasons. He prides himself on the quality of his produce, which he grows using sustainable methods learned through diligent research and experimentation since taking up farming. Regular customers, as well as newcomers, are drawn to his booth not only for his produce but for the warm, genuine conversations that John offers. On this particular morning, the market is abuzz with activity. Children dart between stalls, music plays from a small stage set up for local bands, and the smell of fresh coffee and baked goods fills the air. John greets his fellow vendors, many of whom he considers friends, and they exchange jokes and updates about their lives and work. As the market opens and people start streaming in, John busies himself with arranging his products and chatting with customers. His interactions reveal his deep knowledge of farming, a surprising contrast to his burly appearance, and his passion for his second career is evident in his enthusiasm. However, the pleasant morning takes a sharp turn when a group of bikers known in the area for their disruptive behavior enters the market. Their loud bikes and boisterous presence are in stark contrast to the usual market vibe, and their arrival sends a ripple of tension through the crowd. John watches them warily, hoping they'll pass through without incident, but prepared to stand his ground should they cause any trouble. The group known as the Blackstone Riders rolls into the Willow Creek Farmers Market, their heavy motorcycles rumbling through the serene morning like a thunderclap. Leather-clad and imposing, the bikers wear their club patches with a defiant pride that borders on aggression. Their reputation for troublemaking precedes them, having stirred unrest in several towns along their usual routes. As they dismount, their leader, a burly man named Rick, scans the market with a smirk, his eyes taking in the peaceful shoppers and the stalls brimming with local produce and crafts. The contrast between the market's cheerful atmosphere and the bikers' menacing aura is stark. Their presence immediately shifts the energy of the space. Parents pull their children closer, and vendors exchange uneasy glances. The Blackstone Riders make no pretense of blending in or respecting the community vibe. They laugh loudly, jostling each other and making snide comments about the country folk as they swagger through the aisles. Their boots thud heavily on the ground, and they reek of oil and tobacco, a sharp contrast to the fresh, earthy scents of the market. Some of the bikers start handling the products roughly, picking up fruits and vegetables, sniffing them with exaggerated disgust, and tossing them back carelessly. They make a show of their disdain, clearly enjoying the discomfort they cause among the vendors and shoppers. As they approach John's stall, their behavior escalates from disruptive to confrontational. They eye John's robust physique and the quality produce on his table with a mix of curiosity and mockery. Rick, spotting John's calm demeanor and unyielding stance, decides he's found his target for amusement. The bikers gather around, smirking and ready to incite a reaction from the unsuspecting farmer. Little do they know, they are about to engage with a man whose past is as formidable as the skills he still possesses. As the Blackstone Riders converge around John's stall, their leader, Rick, leans on the table laden with freshly harvested produce. He picks up an apple, inspecting it mockingly before tossing it back onto the pile. "What's this?" The local muscle man's selling apples now, he jokes loudly, aiming to provoke John with both his words and disdainful tone. John meets Rick's gaze steadily, unfazed by the attempt to belittle him. His response is calm and measured, embodying the restraint and authority he honed during his military career. "Everyone's welcome at the market," John replies, "as long as they respect the produce and the people here." The bikers laugh, not accustomed to being addressed so directly and respectfully in a confrontation. Rick, sensing he hasn't gained the upper hand, pushes further, stepping closer to John. "And what if we don't?" he challenges, a sneer forming on his lips. John's posture remains relaxed, but his voice carries a firm edge as he answers, then you'll be asked to leave. This market is for the community, built on respect and decency. The bikers pause, taken aback by John's resolve and the implicit warning in his tone. Their usual tactics of intimidation don't seem to work on him, creating a moment of tension amongst the group as they reassess their approach. This encounter sets the stage for how John handles conflicts, reflecting his background in managing high-stress situations without escalation. His ability to maintain composure under pressure begins to shift the dynamic, subtly undermining the bikers' confidence in their ability to dominate the exchange. Undeterred by John's composed demeanor, Rick and his gang decide to test his limits further. They begin to mock not just John's produce, but also his physique, making crude jokes about how a big guy like him must have a hard time finding clothes and questioning how someone of his stature manages the delicate work of farming. "Hey, big man, you sure those veggies can handle your heavy hands? Don't squash them now." One biker jeers, his companions chuckling. Another picks up a peach, squeezing it too tightly, causing it to bruise. "Oops, guess I don't know my own strength," he mocks, throwing the damaged fruit back into the bin. The bikers' behavior escalates as they continue to handle the produce roughly, deliberately causing minor damage. They laugh among themselves, making a show of their disregard for John's hard work and the market's communal atmosphere. Despite the growing irritation among the other vendors and customers, John remains a pillar of restraint. However, beneath his calm exterior, his military training simmers, a lifetime of discipline and control mixed with an acute awareness of when to act and how to exert force if necessary. John addresses the bikers again, his voice steady but with an unmistakable edge of authority that silences the surrounding murmurs. "Gentlemen, I've asked you nicely to respect the market and the people here. This is your last warning. Either stop this behavior right now or leave." Rick, feeling challenged and not wanting to back down in front of his gang, smirks at John. "Or what, old man? You gonna make us leave?" He steps closer, invading John's personal space, trying to provoke a physical response. The crowd watches, tense and silent, anticipating John's reaction. Many expect him to falter under the bikers' continued provocations, but they are unaware of his background and the depth of his resolve. John's stance remains firm, his eyes locked on Rick's, ready to defend his ground but still hoping for a peaceful resolution. Facing the escalating provocation from Rick and his gang, John maintains his composure. His response, rooted in his years of military discipline, reflects his strategic mindset and deep-seated resolve. "You wouldn't be the first to underestimate me," John says quietly, his voice low and even, carrying a hint of warning that only someone with his background could imbue. "I'm asking you politely for the last time to stop damaging the goods and leave the market if you can't respect the rules here." Rick pauses, taken aback by John's calm but firm response. The biker scans John's face, looking for signs of weakness, but finds none. The rest of the bikers watch their leader, waiting for his cue, the air thick with tension. John stands his ground, his posture relaxed yet unmistakably ready for any outcome. His approach is not aggressive but clearly asserts his boundaries, a technique honed over years of negotiating in high-stakes environments. Around them, the market's other patrons and vendors watch in silence, a mixture of concern and admiration in their eyes. Rick, realizing that this confrontation might not go as easily as he had thought, smirks again but with less confidence. He throws the bruised peach down on John's stall with a thud. "We're just having some fun, old man. No need to get all serious," he says, attempting to diffuse the tension while saving face in front of his gang. John nods slowly, acknowledging Rick's retreat but not easing his vigilant stance. "Respect is serious," John replies. "And it's not just given, it's earned. Remember that." With a final glare, Rick gestures to his gang, and they slowly start to back away from John's stall. The crowd breathes a collective sigh of relief as the bikers move off, their laughter and mockery fading as they exit the market. John's handling of the situation leaves a lasting impression on the marketgoers. His ability to defuse a potentially volatile situation without escalation reinforces his respect among the community. Vendors and customers alike approach him afterward, offering thanks and expressing their admiration for his courage and restraint. This incident at the market solidifies John's role not just as a vendor, but as a pillar of the community, someone capable of leading and protecting not through aggression, but through strength, respect, and an unwavering sense of justice. Despite the initial withdrawal of Rick and his gang from John's stall, the mood at the market remains tense. The bikers, feeling challenged and not willing to let the confrontation go so easily, begin to cause trouble at other parts of the market. Their behavior becomes more disruptive. They knock over a display of handmade crafts, ridicule other vendors' goods, and make loud, obnoxious comments to female patrons, further souring the atmosphere. Word of their antics quickly spreads across the market, and a sense of unease grows among the crowd. John, ever vigilant, keeps an eye on the bikers as he continues to serve his customers, his mind working through possible scenarios. The situation escalates when the bikers return to John's stall, this time more confrontational than before. They're not just content with verbal taunts. Their body language suggests they're ready for a physical confrontation. Rick, leading the charge, steps up to John's stall again, his face twisted in a sneer. "You really think you can talk to us like that and just walk away, old man?" Rick challenges, his voice loud enough to draw attention from all around. The bikers behind him chuckle menacingly, egging him on. John looks at Rick, his expression unchanged, calm but alert. "I spoke to you the way a man speaks when he's standing up for what's right. I haven't moved an inch. I'm still here, standing my ground." This response infuriates Rick, who isn't used to being talked back to, especially not in front of his followers. He shoves a basket of apples off John's table, sending produce rolling across the ground. The provocation is clear, but John remains composed, though every muscle in his body is ready to respond if necessary. At this moment, several market patrons step forward, having had enough of the bikers' intimidation. Among them are other veterans and local farmers who respect John and dislike the disruption the bikers have caused. The community's solidarity begins to show, as they form a united front against the bikers. Seeing the crowd banding together and realizing that they might not be able to intimidate this community as easily as they thought, the bikers start to reconsider their stance. Rick, seeing the determination in the crowd's eyes and especially in John's, knows this isn't a fight they can win today. "Let's get out of here," Rick mutters to his gang, and they reluctantly start their bikes and leave the market, not without throwing threatening glances towards John and the others. The crowd, bolstered by their collective stand, cheers as the bikers exit. John thanks those who stepped up to support him, reinforcing the sense of community and resilience. This incident not only strengthens the bond among the market vendors and patrons, but also cements John's role as a protector and respected member of Willow Creek. As the bikers retreat with their engines fading into the distance, the atmosphere at the Willow Creek Farmers Market begins to shift from tension back to relief and pride. The vendors and shoppers, previously on edge, start to relax and converse about what just transpired. There's a palpable sense of community spirit and camaraderie that wasn't as evident before the confrontation. John's stall becomes a focal point not just for his produce, but also for patrons expressing their gratitude and respect. People approach him, shaking his hand and thanking him for standing up to the bikers. "You really show them, John. We're all safer because of you," says one patron, a sentiment echoed by many others. The other vendors, too, are visibly relieved and grateful. They had felt vulnerable to the disruptive presence of the bikers, and seeing John handle the situation with such calm and resolve gives them a renewed sense of security. Some come over to help John pick up the apples that were scattered during the confrontation, a small but meaningful gesture of solidarity. "I knew you were strong, John, but today you were also our hero," comments Sarah, a fellow vendor who sells homemade jams and jellies. Her words capture the mood among the vendors, who feel a strengthened bond not only with John but also with each other. The market organizer, Mr. Thompson, approaches John with a serious yet appreciative expression. "John, I can't thank you enough for what you did today. We've had trouble with those bikers before, but no one has ever stood up to them like you did. We'd like to discuss some extra precautions we can take as a community, maybe even set up a neighborhood watch program. Would you be willing to help us organize it?" John nods, pleased to see the community taking proactive steps to ensure their safety and willing to lend his expertise. "I'd be honored to help. Let's make sure everyone here feels safe and welcome." This reaction from the market vendors and shoppers not only boosts John's standing in the community, but also ignites a collective initiative to enhance safety and support among the residents. The incident, while challenging, ultimately serves as a catalyst for positive change, reinforcing the community's resilience and the power of standing together in the face of adversity. As the market day progresses and the atmosphere gradually returns to its usual peaceful rhythm, John Avery continues to reflect on the morning's events. Despite the outward resolution and the support of the community, the confrontation with the bikers left him feeling a mix of emotions: pride in his actions, relief at the outcome, but also a nagging concern that the conflict might not be completely resolved. John's patience, a virtue honed through years of military service where strategic restraint was often crucial, is tested as he considers the possibility of further disruptions. His instincts tell him that while today's battle was won, the war might not be over. The bikers had retreated, but their parting looks were those of men who felt more humiliated than defeated. Throughout the afternoon, John keeps a vigilant watch over the market, subtly scanning the crowd and the periphery for any signs of trouble. He exchanges nods and words of encouragement with other vendors, maintaining a calm exterior, but internally, he remains on high alert. His patience is further tested by concerns from fellow vendors and marketgoers who come to him, seeking advice on what to do should the bikers return. John reassures them, advises them on basic safety measures, and emphasizes the importance of staying united as community. He even starts sketching out plans for a simple, informal watch system, where vendors and local volunteers can keep an eye out and quickly report any suspicious activities. Stay alert, stay calm, and stay together. That's how we'll keep our market and our town safe, John advises a group of new vendors who are particularly shaken by the morning's events. As the market closes for the day, John helps others pack up, his actions embodying the leadership and solidarity he's preached. His patience through these interactions not only helps maintain the calm, but also strengthens the communal bonds that are critical in times of potential crisis. While packing up his own stall, John's thoughts drift to strategies for not just defending, but also proactively ensuring the bikers don't see Willow Creek as an easy target again. His mind works through various scenarios, planning contingencies and preventive measures, a testament to his deep-seated commitment to protect what he now considers his home and community. The relative peace of the market day, following the initial confrontation, was short-lived. Over the next few weeks, tensions between the bikers and the Willow Creek community began to simmer once again. Reports of minor vandalisms and intimidating behavior towards locals started to surface, suggesting that the bikers were not ready to relinquish their hold or forgive the slight to their pride. John, ever the strategist, took these developments seriously. He intensified his efforts to organize the community, holding regular meetings with local business owners, residents, and the police to coordinate a unified response. His military background proved invaluable as he trained volunteers on observation skills and basic safety protocols, establishing a robust community watch program. One Saturday, as the market buzzed with its usual weekend activity, the bikers made a bold return. This time, they came in larger numbers, their loud engines disrupting the morning calm as they rode directly into the market area, circling around in a flagrant display of defiance. John, anticipating such a move, was prepared. He had positioned volunteers around a market, equipped with cell phones and cameras to document any illegal activities. As the bikers dismounted and began swaggering through the market, John approached them, his demeanor calm but authoritative. "Gentlemen, you've made your point with your entrance," John addressed them publicly, ensuring his voice carried over the crowd. "This community will not tolerate bullying or intimidation. I suggest you move on before law enforcement gets involved." Rick, leading the bikers, sneered at John's warning. "This is a free country, old man. We go where we please. You're going to stop us all by yourself." Before the situation could escalate further, several police cars pulled up, sirens silent but lights flashing, a visual reminder of the community's readiness to enforce peace. The police officers, led by Chief Martinez, a staunch supporter of John's community efforts, stepped forward. "We're all watching and we're all involved," Chief Martinez announced, addressing not just the bikers but also the gathered crowd. "This market is under the protection of its community and the law. It's time for you to leave." Caught between a well-prepared community and the police, and realizing that their usual tactics were failing, the bikers had little choice but to back down. With grumbles and resentful glares, they slowly retreated, their departure watched closely by everyone present. The market erupted into quiet applause as John and Chief Martinez shook hands, their successful planning evident in a peaceful resolution of what could have escalated into a violent encounter. This intensified confrontation not only tested John's patience and strategic thinking, but also solidified his role as a protector and leader in Willow Creek, demonstrating that unity and preparation can maintain peace in the face of adversity. As the bikers reluctantly started their engines to leave, one younger member, fueled by frustration and the desire to make a statement, suddenly revved his bike and made a reckless decision to charge towards John. It was a brash attempt to intimidate or even harm him, a move that shocked both onlookers and fellow bikers. John's military instincts kicked in instantly. Without a hint of hesitation, he stepped aside with agile precision, avoiding the biker with ease. As the biker passed, John reached out with a swift, controlled movement, grabbing the back of the biker's jacket and pulling him off the motorcycle in one fluid motion. The bike wobbled and crashed a few feet away, drawing a gasp from the crowd. The young biker hit the ground hard but was more stunned than hurt. John stood over him, his posture commanding yet not aggressive, his eyes locked on the biker with a stern but calm demeanor. "Enough," he said firmly, his voice resonating with authority. "This ends now. No more games." The other bikers, now fully aware of John's capabilities and realizing that they were not dealing with an ordinary opponent, halted their engines. The market fell silent, watching the scene unfold with bated breath. Rick, witnessing the decisive way John handled the situation, understood that further challenges would be futile and potentially dangerous. "Let's go," he muttered to his gang, his voice low, marked by a newfound respect or perhaps fear of John's abilities. The police quickly intervened to take the young biker into custody, ensuring he was all right before escorting him away for reckless endangerment and creating a public disturbance. Chief Martinez approached John, clapping him on the shoulder with a mix of admiration and relief. "Good reflexes, John. I'm glad you're on our side," he said, echoing the sentiments of the gathered crowd. As the bikers finally exited the market, the community's applause for John was not just for his physical intervention but for his steadfast courage and protective instincts. People came forward to thank him, their expressions a mixture of gratitude and awe. This incident reinforced John's status in Willow Creek not just as a farmer, but as a guardian of their way of life. It also served as a poignant reminder of his past, a time when his skills were used for national defense, now repurposed for maintaining peace in his chosen community. After the dramatic turn of events, John stood in the middle of the market, the focus of everyone's attention. With the bikers making a subdued exit and the market slowly resuming its cheerful buzz, he took a moment to address the crowd, his voice firm yet filled with warmth. "Today, we've seen what can happen when we stand together," John began, his eyes scanning the faces in the crowd. "It's important to remember that strength isn't just about how you confront a threat, but how you protect your peace." Turning towards the spot where the bikers had retreated, John continued, "I hope this is the last time we see that kind of disrespect here, but let it be known, Willow Creek looks after its own. We're a community that values respect and peace over intimidation and conflict." His statement was met with nods and murmurs of agreement from the gathered vendors and shoppers, reinforcing the communal spirit that had been strengthened through the day's challenges. John's words weren't just a warning to any who might wish to disrupt their way of life. They were also a reminder of the values that held their community together. As the market day wound down, John's presence at his stall became more than just a place to buy produce. It became a testament to the resilience and unity of Willow Creek. Parents explained to their children the importance of standing up for what's right, and fellow vendors shared stories of smaller acts of courage, inspired by John's leadership. John's warning had not only addressed the immediate threat, but it also set a tone for the future, marking him as a leader who was not only capable of defending the community, but also deeply invested in its well-being and moral fabric. His dual role as a retired Delta Force commander and a farmer had blended seamlessly into a new identity, a protector of peace and a nurturer of growth. The impact of John's intervention and community's united front began to resonate far beyond the confines of the market. Word of the confrontation spread through Willow Creek and into neighboring areas, carried by market-goers and amplified by local media. The story of a retired Delta Force commander standing up to a notorious biker gang not only made headlines, but also started changing the narrative around community resilience. In the days that followed, the bikers' presence in the area diminished significantly. Their usual haunts reported fewer sightings, and the incidents of harassment and vandalism dropped off. It seemed that the combination of John's formidable defense, the community's solidarity, and the potential legal repercussions had made Willow Creek a less attractive target for the gang. Rick and his gang, once the uncontested bullies of the region, found themselves the subjects of a newfound wariness from their usual circles. Other groups and locals, inspired by Willow Creek's stance, began to stand up more firmly to bullying and intimidation. The ripple effect of John's actions redefined the power dynamics in the surrounding communities. At the market, the atmosphere lightened considerably. Vendors set up their stalls with a greater sense of security, and the shoppers returned in greater numbers, reassured by the swift and effective handling of the threat. Discussions around safety continued, with John often consulted for his insights and advice on preventative measures and community response strategies. The bikers' withdrawal marked a significant turn in the community's history. It wasn't just a victory against a disruptive element, but a strengthening of communal bonds and a reaffirmation of shared values. John, once a quiet newcomer seeking a peaceful retirement, had become a pillar of strength and a symbol of what it means to be a part of Willow Creek. This newfound respect and the peace it brought allowed John to focus more fully on his farming, secure in the knowledge that he had not only protected his new way of life but had also contributed to the enduring safety and unity of his adopted community. In the weeks following the bikers' withdrawal, the Willow Creek community took proactive steps to build on the foundation of unity and security that John had helped establish. The market became a hub not only for trade but also for community-strengthening activities. John was at the forefront of these initiatives, leveraging his leadership skills and military experience to foster a sense of collective responsibility. John organized a series of community meetings and workshops focused on safety, conflict resolution, and emergency preparedness. These sessions were well attended by market vendors, local business owners, and residents, eager to contribute to and sustain the secure environment they all cherished. John's approach was always inclusive, ensuring that everyone had a voice and could offer their input on how best to protect the community. The support for John grew exponentially. People recognized not just his role in handling the confrontation with the bikers, but also his ongoing commitment to community welfare. Local businesses began sponsoring the market, providing funds for security enhancements like better lighting and surveillance cameras. John's farm received numerous offers of assistance, from volunteer help during the harvest to donations of supplies and equipment. Moreover, the community's support extended beyond physical contributions. Stories of John's past heroics and present leadership inspired local youth, prompting discussions about values such as courage, integrity, and community service. Schools invited John to speak to students, and he became a role model, an embodiment of the principle that one person's strength and resolve can indeed make a difference. The gratitude of the community was palpable. One evening, the market organizers held a special event in John's honor, celebrating his impact with testimonials, local music, and a communal feast. It was a heartfelt acknowledgement of how much he had become a part of Willow Creek's fabric. Through these gatherings and celebrations, the bonds within the community not only strengthened but transformed the market into a symbol of resilience and unity. John's farm flourished with his support, and he often expressed his gratitude by hosting community gatherings at his farm, sharing the bounty of his land with those who had stood by him. This cycle of mutual support and respect made Willow Creek not just a safer place but a vibrant example of what a community can achieve when it stands together, led by someone as capable and caring as John Avery. As the seasons changed and the market thrived under the new sense of community and security, John found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him to this point. The tranquility of his farm, once a solitary haven, now resonated with the echoes of the community he had come to love and protect. Sitting on his porch one cool evening, looking out over fields bathed in the soft glow of sunset, John considered the unexpected role he had come to play in Willow Creek. His life had been a series of intense chapters, from the adrenaline of combat to the peace of his orchards and fields. Each phase had taught him something vital about himself and his capabilities. But more importantly, it had shown him the power of community. He realized that his impact went beyond just maintaining peace. It was about fostering a spirit of collective resilience and mutual support. John pondered the lessons he had learned and how they mirrored the principles he had lived by in the military. Discipline, respect, and leadership had seamlessly transitioned into his civilian life, proving indispensable in both realms. He understood now more than ever that his past experiences were not just remnants of a life once lived, but were assets to the community that had become his new mission field. The reflection brought him a deep sense of fulfillment. It wasn't just about having found a new purpose in a peaceful retirement, but about having made a tangible difference in the lives of those around him. He felt a profound connection to the cycles of nature on his farm, growth, harvest, and renewal, which metaphorically aligned with his own life stages. As night fell and stars began to fill the sky, John's thoughts turned to the future. He envisioned more initiatives to enhance community engagement, considering programs that could involve more youth and perhaps even integrate his farming activities with local education efforts. He wanted to pass on his knowledge, not just about farming, but about living a life of service and integrity. Closing the day with these reflections, John felt a bridge forming between his past and present, a continuous journey of service, whether in uniform or in overalls. He was content, knowing he was exactly where he was meant to be, doing exactly what he was meant to do, cultivating growth, not just in the ground, but in every life he touched. As the weeks turned into months, John Avery's reputation as both a steadfast farmer and a community protector continued to grow, not just within Willow Creek but also in the surrounding regions. His story, emblematic of courage and community leadership, was featured in local newspapers and on regional TV stations, drawing attention from far beyond his immediate locale. The publicity brought visitors to Willow Creek, curious to meet the man who had made such a stand and to see the community that had rallied so remarkably around one of their own. John's farm became a point of interest, with people coming to buy his produce directly, eager to support his endeavors and to experience the warmth of a community that had captured the attention of the broader public. This influx of visitors had a ripple effect on the local economy. Other market vendors saw an increase in sales, and nearby cafes and shops experienced more foot traffic. Inspired by John's story, local artisans began creating and selling items that celebrated community themes, such as T-shirts with slogans about unity and handmade crafts that symbolized resilience. John used this growing interest to further promote community initiatives. He started a small fund, supported by a portion of his farm's earnings, dedicated to community projects like beautifying public spaces, supporting local schools, and providing resources for emergency preparedness training. His commitment to using his newfound fame to benefit his community reinforced the respect and admiration he received. At the market, where it all began, John's stall continued to be a hub of activity every market day. Conversations at his stall were not just about transactions, but about life, community issues, and plans for further strengthening Willow Creek. The market itself became a symbol of community resilience and unity, a place where people didn't just come to shop but to connect and support one another. John's influence also extended to mentoring other veterans who were trying to reintegrate into civilian life. Recognizing his success and the positive role he had carved out for himself in Willow Creek, they sought his guidance on how to make meaningful transitions of their own. John's farm offered a kind of informal fellowship where veterans could learn about farming, community service, and rebuilding life after military service. As John's reputation spread, it brought not just recognition but a greater responsibility, which he embraced with humility and a deep sense of duty. His life, a testament to service in various forms, continued to inspire and impact those around him, proving that one person's strength and integrity could indeed make a world of difference. With his reputation firmly established and his influence spreading, John Avery became a pillar of wisdom and strength not only in Willow Creek but also in the wider community. His farm turned into a learning center for sustainable agriculture, where John held regular workshops for people of all ages interested in farming and environmental stewardship. These sessions were not only about cultivation techniques, but also incorporated elements of leadership and community building, reflecting John's holistic approach to his second career. Schools in the region started organizing field trips to John's farm, where students could get hands-on experience with agriculture and hear firsthand about the values of hard work, respect for nature, and community cooperation. John, with his easy manner and depth of knowledge, was a natural teacher. His stories of military precision and farming passion captivated young minds, instilling in them the importance of dedication and service. Moreover, John's leadership extended into local governance. He was invited to serve on several community boards, where his strategic thinking and experience in crisis management were invaluable. His input helped shape policies that fostered community resilience and sustainability, ensuring that the values he stood for were embedded in local decision-making processes. His impact was also felt in local economic development initiatives. John advocated for programs that supported small businesses and sustainable practices, aligning with his vision of a community that thrives on mutual support and respect for the environment. His advocacy led to the establishment of a local cooperative that helped small farmers and artisans sell their products, boosting the local economy and reducing the community's carbon footprint. The annual Willow Creek Days Festival, which celebrated local culture and produce, saw John as a key figure. Under his guidance, the festival grew in size and scope, attracting visitors from across the state and even from neighboring states. The festival not only boosted local pride and economic activity, but also served as a showcase for the community's unity and creativity, attributes that John had helped foster. In his personal life, John found a deep satisfaction in the roles he had assumed. His evenings were often spent on his porch, overlooking fields that were not just a source of sustenance but a testament to his life's new chapter. The peace he had sought in farming had been enriched by his contributions to the community, creating a legacy that would endure. John Avery's journey from a Delta Force commander to a community leader and mentor exemplified a life dedicated to service, whether on the battlefield or in the fields of his farm. His influence, marked by integrity and resilience, continued to inspire all who knew him, proving that the seeds of change he planted went far beyond the crops he cultivated. As John Avery's influence solidified within and beyond Willow Creek, the community he had helped shape grew into a vibrant example of what collective effort and shared values could achieve. The disruptions caused by the bikers had become a distant memory, replaced by a prevailing sense of safety and community pride. John's efforts had not only quelled the immediate threat, but had also sown the seeds for lasting peace and cooperation. The restored peace allowed the community to focus on development and enrichment rather than conflict resolution. Local businesses thrived, bolstered by the cooperative initiatives John had championed. The farmers' market, once a site of tension, was now a bustling, joyful place where families gathered, local musicians played, and artisans sold their crafts. It was a weekly celebration of community spirit and local enterprise. Educational programs flourished, with John's farm at the heart of many initiatives. The knowledge he imparted went beyond farming techniques. It included lessons on ecological sustainability, community responsibility, and the importance of maintaining a peaceful society. These programs nurtured a new generation of community-minded individuals, eager to contribute positively to their surroundings. John's role in local governance continued to bring about progressive changes. He was instrumental in implementing community safety measures that were sensible and non-invasive, fostering a safe environment without sacrificing the community's open and welcoming nature. His balanced approach to leadership and security was a model for neighboring communities, many of which sought his advice on similar issues. The annual Willow Creek Days Festival, under John's stewardship, became a regional highlight. It not only celebrated the harvest and local talent, but also became a forum for exchanging ideas on community development, sustainability, and peace-building. The festival included workshops, speeches, and panel discussions that attracted thinkers and practitioners from various fields, turning the local festival into a beacon of community innovation. As peace and prosperity continued, John found more time to reflect on his own life and the legacy he was building. His evening reflections on his porch were filled with a deep sense of accomplishment and a hopeful gaze towards the future. He often mused on the cyclical nature of life and how his own seasons had mirrored those of his farm, times of planting, growth, harvest, and renewal. John's story, from a soldier to a guardian of peace, was frequently shared as an inspiring tale of transformation and service. His life had become a testament to the power of turning swords into plowshares, demonstrating that true strength often lies in the ability to foster peace and nurture growth. Willow Creek, under his influence, had become not just a place to live but a model of living well together, a true embodiment of what it means to turn adversity into opportunity. As the years passed, John Avery continued to be a central figure in Willow Creek, embodying the principles of leadership, community, and peace that had defined his second career. The farm, the market, and the community had flourished under his influence, becoming a symbol of what can be achieved when one combines personal integrity with a commitment to collective well-being. Sitting on his porch one crisp autumn evening, John watched the sun dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow over his well-tended fields. He reflected on the path he had taken, from the battlefields overseas to the peaceful rows of apple trees and vegetable gardens that surrounded him. His life had been a journey of transformation, driven by a desire to make a meaningful impact. John thought about the legacy he was leaving behind, not just in the crops he grew or the market he helped stabilize, but in the minds and hearts of the people of Willow Creek. He had taught them more than how to grow food or fend off trouble. He had taught them how to grow a community and protect a way of life that valued each individual's contribution. The community's respect for him was evident in their daily interactions. Children who had visited his farm on school trips now brought their children, telling stories of how John had shown them a caterpillar on a leaf or explained the importance of bees and pollination. Local business owners, many of whom had attended his workshops on leadership and community building, sought his counsel on important decisions. As the stars began to appear in the twilight sky, John felt a profound connection to the land and the community he had helped nurture. He knew that the peace and prosperity of Willow Creek were his truest legacy, a legacy not of conquest, but of cultivation. Reflecting on his dual identity as both a retired Delta Force commander and a dedicated farmer, John realized that each role had been essential in shaping who he had become. The courage and strategic thinking developed in the military had been repurposed to foster community and growth rather than conflict. John's story, a vivid illustration of transformation and redemption, was destined to be remembered not only in Willow Creek but wherever his tale was told. It served as a powerful reminder that peace is not merely the absence of conflict but the presence of justice, cooperation, and mutual respect, principles he had lived by every day since hanging up his uniform for the last time. As night settled over his farm, John felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that he had not only changed his life but had also played a pivotal role in transforming his community for the better. The legacy of John Avery would live on, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of dedicated, compassionate leadership. As the years advanced, the effects of John Avery's leadership continued to ripple through Willow Creek, reinforcing the community's growth and sustainability. His farm and the principles he instilled became a cornerstone of the area, attracting attention from beyond the local community and inspiring similar initiatives elsewhere. John's commitment to education and community engagement led to the establishment of the Willow Creek Community Center, a project he had envisioned as a space for people of all ages to learn and grow together. The center offered classes on everything from agriculture and environmental stewardship to civic engagement and leadership skills. It quickly became a hub of activity, embodying John's belief in lifelong learning and active community participation. The community center also housed a small museum that documented the history of Willow Creek, with a special section dedicated to John's contributions. It featured exhibits on his military service, his transition to farming, and his role in fostering community resilience. Visitors could see photographs, personal artifacts, and even some of John's military decorations alongside tools from his farm and testimonials from community members. John's influence also extended into local politics, where he served as an advisor to the town council, bringing his strategic acumen to broader community development projects. His guidance was instrumental in initiatives that prioritized sustainable development, ensuring that growth did not come at the expense of environmental health or the town's unique character. As a testament to his impact, the annual Willow Creek Leadership Award was established in John's honor. It recognized local individuals who demonstrated exceptional commitment to the community, particularly those who embodied the values of service and leadership that John had championed. The award ceremony became a significant community event, celebrating the kind of courageous, conscientious leadership that John had exemplified. In his personal life, John found great joy in the deep relationships he cultivated with his neighbors, friends, and family. His home was often filled with laughter, discussions about life, and planning sessions for community projects. His children and grandchildren, proud of his legacy, were actively involved in the community, often volunteering at the center or helping with events at the market. Reflecting on his journey one quiet evening, John penned a few thoughts in his journal, a practice he had maintained for years. He wrote about the satisfaction of seeing the seeds he had planted, both literal and metaphorical, flourish into a robust community fabric. He mused on the beauty of passing on his knowledge and watching younger generations take the helm with their fresh ideas and boundless energy. John's life story, marked by service, resilience, and transformation, continued to inspire not just those who knew him but also those who would come to learn about him in the years to follow. His legacy was not confined to the tangible achievements of awards or buildings, but was deeply woven into the spirit of Willow Creek, a community forever changed by his dedication and love. As night embraced his farm once again, John felt a profound gratitude for the life he had led in the community he had helped shape. It was a life well lived, full of purpose and heart, and the quiet of the evening was filled with a sense of contentment and hope for the future of Willow Creek. Years continued to pass, and the influence of John Avery in Willow Creek remained a guiding force. His principles of leadership, resilience, and community service had become deeply ingrained in the town's culture. With the solid foundation he had built, Willow Creek continued to thrive and evolve, adapting to new challenges with the same spirit of unity and strength that John had fostered. As the community center became a beacon of learning and collaboration, it expanded its offerings. A new initiative called the Avery Mentorship Program was launched, connecting experienced professionals in agriculture, business, and civic leadership with young people eager to learn and contribute to their community. This program became a model for other towns, illustrating how mentorship and practical experience could empower the next generation. John, now an elder statesman in the community, took great pride in attending the program's events, offering words of wisdom and encouragement. He watched as young men grew into leaders themselves, initiating their own projects and businesses, further enriching the community's economic and social landscape. Willow Creek also established the annual John Avery Day, a community-wide celebration marked by volunteer activities, cultural performances, and a farmers market special event. This day not only honored John's legacy, but also served as a reminder of the community's commitment to his ideals of service and unity. Each year, the festivities reflected the diverse and dynamic nature of Willow Creek, showcasing the creativity and collaboration that had become its hallmark. Moreover, the town council, inspired by John's advisory role, created a sustainability board to ensure that all development projects aligned with principles of environmental stewardship and community wellness. John was named an honorary chairman, and under his guidance, Willow Creek adopted innovative approaches to urban planning and resource management, becoming a certified green community. As he aged, John found comfort in the natural cycle of life and the knowledge that he had contributed to something lasting. His children and grandchildren, who shared his passion for community and the environment, stepped into roles that supported the town's initiatives, ensuring that his vision continued to guide Willow Creek's development. John's story, rich with lessons of courage, transformation, and community building, was chronicled in a book authored by a local historian. The book became a source of inspiration far beyond Willow Creek, used in schools and leadership seminars across the country as an example of how one person's values can influence community for generations. In his twilight years, John spent many evenings on his porch, surrounded by friends and family, reflecting on the journey that had brought him and Willow Creek to where they were. His heart was full of joy as he saw old and young together, celebrating a community that was not only surviving but thriving because of the seeds of kindness, resilience, and unity he had helped sow. His final thoughts each night were of gratitude for the life he had been given and the opportunity to serve, a life that, in so many ways, had served him back. John Avery's legacy was not just in the tangible successes of Willow Creek, but in the enduring spirit of a community that continued to live out his values every day.